Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
We bring you the news
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
COMELEC assures the public that there was no manipulation of votes in the 2025 polls following allegations of dagdag bawas in the transmission of election returns.
Bets from Alianza Duterte and the so-called yellow opposition are locking in spots in the senatorial Magic 12.
Despite tension in some areas, the Philippine National Police says Bilang Pilipino 2025 was generally peaceful.
Some celebrities have already been proclaimed victorious in the 2025 midterm elections.
Polling precincts across the country will open to millions of Filipinos in one of the most consequential elections in Philippine history.
Therefore, pag nag-transmit siya ng resulta mula senador,
You are watching Bilang Pilipino 2025, One News 31-hour non-stop coverage of the midterm elections.
Welcome back. You're watching Bilang Pilipino 2025, One News 31.
Boboto dito si Vice President Sara Duterte dito.
So far, sir, what's your assessment?
Mabilis naman ang proseso ng kanilang pagboto pero mailan tayong mga
today, the nation decides.
We have the big story on the ground from the full force of MediaQuest's news teams. Our reporters and stringers strategically placed nationwide. Our mobile journalists also bring us the latest.
Nakaboto na sa Cebu.
Let's take a look.
Ito, Angela, ay kasi ganun kadami yung butante dito nga sa Valle Verde.
Bilang Pilipino 2025.
Results coming in, 48% so far, 45,000 of 93,000 precincts.
What we're seeing so far is the Cebu City results are already in.
We have on the line Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Hindi niya pa talaga nami-meet yung around 80% na open voting.
Magandang umaga, Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Kami po'y gising na gising pa.
Wala nang ang tulugan talaga.
This is the special coverage on Bilang Pilipino 2025. I'm Ces Orenia Drinon. We are still One News, all sides, all the time.
The COMELEC has announced that the proclamation of at least 19 candidates will be suspended. Chairman George Garcia said the pending disqualification cases against them needs to be resolved first. Among those named are candidates from various positions. The list includes congressional candidates Marcy and Christian Sia. More details are expected to be released in the coming days as the poll body finalizes its resolutions on the disqualification petitions.
COMELEC addressed concerns over delays and data duplication in the transmission of election returns, assuring the public there was no manipulation of votes. Here's the report.
The Commission on Elections has denied allegations of dagdag bawas or vote padding and shaving in the results of the 2025 midterm elections. This comes as election results for the senatorial race went viral due to an alleged discrepancy and a reported decline of about 5 million votes received by one senatorial candidate. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia explained that some media outlets release election results without first cleansing the raw data they received from the poll body's data server.
Una muna gusto kong liwanagin. Ang COMELEC, wala kaming pagsusuma total. Nakita nyo lahat yun. Wala kaming pag-ranking.
The PPCRV, one of the groups authorized to receive election returns, flagged the discrepancy after noticing a difference between their internal count and the data received by other outlets from COMELEC's transparency server. The poll body clarified that this issue was due to software used to process and filter duplicate entries from precincts. The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, has since investigated the matter and assured the public that while some precinct transmissions were duplicated during consolidation, it did not affect the official results and the integrity of the votes. The DICT emphasized that there is no cause for concern and that the election results will still be thoroughly verified and validated through the election returns.
The Commission on Elections has reconvened as a national board of canvassers to begin tallying the votes for senators and party list groups. For updates, we have mobile journalist Merimon Reyes. Merimon, walk us naman through the process of the canvassing for Senate and the other votes.
Good morning, Angelo and Angela. Today, around this time, 10 o'clock a.m., is pagpapatuloy na yung day 2 of the canvassing ng National Board of Canvassers na binubuo nga ng COMELEC. Supposedly, before 10 a.m., 9:30, meron tayong inaasahan dapat na press conference with COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia dahil posible din natin sanang malaman kasi within the day, inaasahan din natin yung paglabas ng partial and official results nitong pagbibilangan sa Bilang Pilipino 2025. Pero as of 2 o'clock in the morning kanina, 70 provinces at 55 overseas na election returns ng certificates of canvass o COC ang nabibilang na. And yung sa election returns naman as of nearly 7 o'clock in the morning ayon sa COMELEC database, 813 na lang ang hinihintay mula sa 93,387 na local election returns or ER, samantalang 8 na lang na overseas ERs yung kanilang hinihintay. And kasabay nito, yung canvassing na gagawin mamaya ng NBOC is magsasagawa rin ngayong araw ang COMELEC ng random manual auditing o yung RMA kung saan over 700 random ballots from various precincts ang kinuha at i-audit manually ng 60 teams mula sa DepEd na hindi nagsilbing electoral board members. So gagawin ito sa Citadines Bay City, Manila, Pasay. And nag-training daw ang mga ito noong April 28 to 30 para raw masiguro na alam nila ang kanilang gagawin dito sa ARMA. So itong mga ito, yung canvassing kasabay nitong ARMA, titignan dito ngayon yung integrity o kaya naman kung nagkaroon ba ng anomalya pagdating doon sa pagbibilang ng mga boto hanggang sa transmission, even to also compare yung election returns at yung mga canvas na makukuha. So within today, makiinaasahan na natin yung partial and official vote results mula mismo sa COMELEC. Pero yesterday nakuha din natin, quick run through din natin ito, yung City Certificate of Canvass mula naman sa local vote, absentee votes. At ang nakita natin dito, ang nangunguna pa rin ay si Senator-elect Bongko with over 45,000 votes na sinusundan naman ni former Senator Bato de la Rosa with 44,818 votes. At pumapangatlo si Representative Rodante Marcoleta with 34,543 votes. Ayon dito sa COC na nakuha natin, ang naging voters turnout is 52.97% and that is 52,067 na ballots na nabilang mula doon sa 100,000 na rehistradong LVA voters natin. So far, yun pa lang yung latest mula dito sa COMELEC Monitoring Center. Balik sa inyo.
Marymon, would you know kung anong areas pa yung kakaunti na lamang base dun sa nabanggit mo na inaantay ng mga election returns?
So far dito kasi sa datos mismo ng COMELEC, itong mga numero ititignan natin. For the locals, 99.13% na siya. And yung hinihintay pa natin dito, samantala sa overseas naman, 96.69% na siya. So 234 na out of the other countries. Pero kung titignan natin mamaya yung pagsasala kung ano pa ba ang mga lugar yung hinihintay natin both for local and overseas.
Oo, kasi dyan natin malalaman kung meron pa bang mga pag-asa yung mga nasa ilalim, yung mga nasa 12 and 13 na position sa senatorial race. But then again, maraming salamat sa iyong oras. May tatanong ka pa? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead na lang. Thank you, Marymon. We'll get back to you. All right, more local bets have been proclaimed winners of the 2025 midterm elections. These include some surprise victories in battleground areas. Here's the report.
Pambari 4 has been proclaimed winner of the gubernatorial race in Cebu. The Duterte ally run under PDP. Bari 4 defeated longtime Governor Gwen Garcia.
I started, I was branded as who you. This is really victory.
Nestor Archival's win as Cebu City Mayor was also a game changer. He is set to unseat incumbent Mayor Raymond Garcia.
I'm very happy. I didn't expect na ito yung resulta. Considering na medyo wala kaming resources, what we did is dumiretso na kami doon sa mga constituents.
Over in Las Piñas, independent bent Mark Anthony Santos won over Senator Cynthia Villar for the Congress seat.
Talagang, this is the first time na palitan po yung family, Villar family,
sa Congress
to represent the Lone District of Las Piñas po. Isa po sa mga issues, hindi naman po pera ang ang ginagamit para maging isang lugar or isang bayan. At during the campaign po, may mga issues po na lumabas, and these are documented issues. And actually po, ayoko na po sana pag-usapan yung mga issues kasi nag-decide na po kasi talaga yung tao. I'm offering my hand to my opponent, Senator Cynthia Villar, para tulungan naman po sana yung suportahan po ang mga programa.
Marcy Teodoro was also proclaimed as Marikina representative.
We believe that the overwhelming votes that he got yesterday is a sign that the voice of Marikina people should be heard. It's just a suspension. It's not really final and executory. So, talagang kailangan lang siguro dumaan tayo sa proseso.
In Davao, detained former President Rodrigo Duterte was declared mayor. 5 other Duterte were proclaimed winners this midterm elections. In Naga City, former President Leni Robredo has been elected as the new mayor. She's the first woman mayor of the city. Meanwhile, House Speaker Martin Romualdez was re-elected representative of Leyte. This will be his 3rd term in the position. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo has also won her re-election bid as Pampanga representative.
Ayan, so Marcy Teodoro daw has been proclaimed. So,
Pero kasama kasi siya dun sa suspension
pero as sinabi nga dito sa interview, it's just a suspension. It's not it's not an actual disqualification. So, let's see what happens kung kasi initially ang gusto sana ni Chairman George para sa kanyang jurisdiction before the proclamation maayos na yung mga disqualification cases. But we'll clarify that later on.
Yeah, kasi nga yung meron siyang for context lang yung dinidisqualify yung kanyang certificate of candidacy even before the election started. If I'm not mistaken, sa kampo to nila Senator Coco Pimentel, dahil yung pagdating sa usapin ng residency.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi diba, pagkakandidato ka, dapat at least may 1-year residency ka doon sa lugar kung saan ka kakandidato. Lumipat kasi siya, and apparently parang ang kinokontest ng kampo nila Senator Coco Pimentel ay hindi umabot ng 1 year.
Although full-fledged mayor for X number of years, si Mayor Marcy, it's just that when he transferred a district to run in that other district, hindi siya nag-establish doon sa kabila. He was from another district.
If kung pagbabasihan mo yung boto doon sa election results natin, medyo hindi ko lang alam, hindi ko pa nakuha kasi yung numbers. So, malaki talaga yung agwat
nila,
ng lamang ni Marcy Teodoro
over Coco Pimentel.
But yun nga, tingnan din ulit natin, i-rundown lang natin yung ating senatorial survey, senatorial race na result. Alam naman po natin, number 1 si Senator Bongo, no? Ilan ba yung kanyang naging vote dyan? And number 2 si Senator Bam Aquino. We also have Senator Senator Bato de la Rosa on number 3, number 4 si Senator Congressman or Senator-elect Erwin Tulfo, number 5 Kiko Pangilinan, number 6 Marcoleta.
Sa number 7 naman, we have of course Ping Lacson, and yung usually katandem niya sa number 8 si Tito Soto, and then at number 9 we have is that Camille Villar? No, who's that? Hindi ko makita yun dyan.
Oh, yeah. That's Pia Cayetano.
Sorry, malabo yung ayos ko. Si Pia Cayetano. Number 10, we have Camille Villar. And number 11, we have Lito Lapid. And rounding up the top 12, we have the sister of President Bongbong Marcos and comebacking Senator Amy Marcos.
Yes.
So yun ang top 12 natin.
Sabi nga nila,
sa 13th, we have
big surprises at that the night of the result.
13, we have, of course, nasa laylayan, we have Ben Tulfo. He was expected to be at the 7 to 8 range.
Underperformers natin.
Yeah, 7 to 8 range, pero hindi siya nakapasok. Also, si Bong Revilla, former Senator Bong Revilla, was expected also to be within the top 12 sa bandang gitna, but kinain na siguro ng position ng dalawang independent na unexpected na si Bam and si Senator Kiko Pangilinan. So that took the spots there. It was a surprise for those two.
Yes, kasi dun sa mga nabantayan natin, mga senatorial survey tracker from December to until the first week of May of 2025, lumalabas doon number 1 Tulfo,
Yeah.
number 2 si Bongo, and wala doon yung nasa tail end, no? Sila Bamakino, sila Kiko
right.
Pangilinan, and even Marcoleta wasn't even in the
It's number 6, no? Number 6.
Alright, so pag-usapan naman natin dahil hindi lang senators ang ating binantayan ng
Correct.
halalan, pati ang mga party list na kasama sa ating halalan. Duterte Youth currently ranks second in the party list race. Now, let's get some reactions from the group's chairman, Ronald Cardema. Magandang umaga po, Chairman. Shall I call you that? Sir Ronald Cardema.
Good morning, sir, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us today. First, tell us po more about your role as chairman po nitong Duterte Youth.
Yes, tayo po ang leader ng Duterte Youth Party List at nagsiset ng mga policies na ating i-advocate po para sa ating mga kabataan at para sa bansa.
Now, secondly, let's get right to it. No, you got over 2 million votes, no, and around at least 5%, which supposedly guarantees you 2 seats. Now, ano po ang reaction nyo dito? Did you expect this?
Actually, we expected it because during the surveys last January, talagang nasa top 1, top 2, top 3 tayo. Tapos noong February, top 2 rin po tayo. And noong March po, top 2 at top 1 rin po tayo. Tapos noong April, minsan nagta-top 1 tayo. So we are expecting na nasa top 5 po talaga tayo.
Ayun. Go ahead.
Yeah, first and foremost po, para lang po din sa kaalaman po ng ating audience, ano bang ginagawa ng Duterte Youth Party List? Kasi ang alam natin, di ba, pag nasa party list ka, dapat you represent the marginalized sector and also yung advokasya ng isang party list. Can you tell us more about it, sir?
Yes, ang meaning po ng Duterte, dun sa Duterte Youth Party List is duty to empower the Republic through the enlightenment of the Youth Party List. So yun ang meaning natin. So we are advocating na ang ating mga kabataan ay maging disiplinado, maging nation builders. At alam niyo po sa Kongreso, 2 Kongreso na tayo nakaupo, ang masasabi natin, tayo lang ang nagpapanukalang batas para ibalik yung death penalty para sa mga rapist, kidnapper, terrorist, and mga kurakot sa gobyerno. Walang ibang gumagawa nun sa ating gobyerno. And tayo lang rin na nakikipagdebate, nakikipaglaban sa mga makakaliwang grupo sa Kongreso, and we are focusing on our youth leaders, mga SK leaders, mga kadete ng ating mga ROTC, PMA, PNPA, at yung mga makakatulong sa kabataang Pilipino para sila ay maging disiplinado.
Yeah, this coming next 2 years po, since also you're representing the youth, no, ano po ang plano nyo in terms of sa education sector na nagkakaroon ng, some sort of crisis dahil may mga learning, bumababa tayo sa mga learning ranking?
Alam nyo, isang i-check natin sa DepEd, bakit ba, di ba nagkakaroon daw ng anomaly dyan sa mga procurement? Minsan, alam nyo, masabi ko sa inyo, galing sa Kongreso, maraming kongresista ang nabibisi sa pagpapagawa, pag-identify ng classroom, pagpapatayo ng classroom. Masabi ko nga sa inyo, bakit yung ibang kongresista busy pamimigay ng ayuda, hindi naman social welfare development officer ang mga congressmen? Bakit yung ibang kongresista busy sa pag-identify sa mga karsada, tulay, at building na ipapatayo, mga classroom, hindi naman sila engineer? Dapat siguro, ibigay na lang yung pondo doon sa mga departamentong yon at sila na ang bahala. Kasi pag nakikialam ang mga kongresista, doon na tayo nagtataka. Yung ibang kongresista, sila na may-ari ng mismong construction company na nagtatayo. So yun ang masabi natin, tayo lang ang nagsasalita patungkol sa ganyang bagay.
Okay. It's so ironic. I can see, Sir Ronald, you said that you guys are representing the youth, and yet, ang National Coordinator of the Youth Advocates for Climate Change of the Philippines at yung mga taga PUP student and UP students, they filed, sila yung mga petitioners, they filed the disqualification case against Duterte Youth Party List for red tagging. Your comment on that?
Yan, masabi ko sa inyo, wala yan, hausaw na kaso yan. Bakit? Noong 2019, final na nila yan. Pangalawa, nire-red tag ko daw sila, I was a member of Kabataan Party List and LFS, League of Filipino Students in UP. Kaya nga, kung mapapansin niyo sa buong gobyerno ng Pilipinas, yung ibang mga taga-gobyerno, baka doon bumabanat, minsan nakaka-red tag sila kasi nagkakamali sila ng tag. Pero pag ako ang debate ng mga makakaliwa, hindi ko nilalahat kasi alam ko kung sino talagang nag-NPA na mga miyembro namin sa Kabataan Party List. Dati nila ako miyembro eh. Tapos actually in my batch in Kabataan Party List in UP Los Baños, 3 sa batchmate ko sa Kabataan Party List, patay na sa NPA. Kaya kapag ako yung nagsasalita patungkol dyan, dinadirect ko kung sino talaga yung mga miyembro namin sa Kabataan Party List dati na namamatay as NPA. If you tell the actual names of the members na nag-NPA, eh hindi red tagging yun kasi katotohanan yun eh. I have all the proof from the Armed Forces and the PNP kung sino talaga. Pag sinabi ng isang tao na lahat ng miyembro ng Kabataan Party List NPA, yun, mali yun. That is plain red tagging. Diba? Pero pag sinabi ko mismo yung pangalan ng namatay na NPA, na miyembro namin sa Kabataan Party List dati, that is not red tagging, that is the truth.
So, meron po kayong ebidensya doon po sa mga nasabi nyo po na, yung sinasabi po against you na nagre-red tag daw po kayo, and that's the very case that they filed na sa ano po, sa COMELEC o sa Supreme Court po ba? Na final po nila, na ano po kayo na, yun nga po, pinapa-disqualify po ang Duterte Youth.
Alam nyo, masabi ko sa inyo, sa dami na ng kasong na-handle ko, hindi importante ang kaso. Kasi, for example, kayong dalawa, nakaaway niyo yung kapitbahay niyo kasi lagi kayo nasa TV. Kasuhan kayo agad ng unlawful utterance. O may kaso na kayo, di ba? But is that the truth? That is not the truth, di ba? Yang kinakaso nilang nagre-red tag daw ako, alam niyo, mangyayari this Friday. Dahil kakasabi nilang nagre-red tag ako, I will formally file a disqualification case against Kabataan Party List. And nandun sa disqualification case, yung mismong mga representatives ng Kabataan Party List like Raul Manuel and Sara Elago na meron silang picture dun sa members nila na napatay na mismo as NPA. I will not, hindi ko sinasabi na lahat ng miyembro ay NPA. That is not true. Pero yung ikaw, congressman ka ng Kabataan Party List, tapos meron kang kasamang Kabataan Party List member mo sa picture, kayo nag-upload, tapos yung kasama mo, napatay bilang NPA terrorist, yun ang mga examples ko sa disqualification case ko kasi meron kaming proof.
Picture lang?
Na meron.
Picture po yung basehan po natin, tama po ba?
Picture na nagrarally silang dalawa na merong flag ng Kabataan Party List. Tapos napatay yung kasama nila doon sa picture nila mismo. Selfie nila na napatay yun as NPA. Siyempre, that tells something, di ba? Hindi naman makakalapit kahit sinong kabataang aktivista doon sa mga congressman ng Kabataan Party List if they are not members or close during a rally, di ba?
So Friday,
clarify ko lang pa-file nyo. Anong specific case po i-file natin?
Katulad nung final sa akin, kasi pwede kang ma-disqualify sa party list system if you are promoting violence. So, yun ang kinaso nila sa akin, actually. I am promoting violence daw against activists.
Yun nga po yung tag po kasi sa Duterte Youth, anti-left daw po kayo.
Ngayong Friday, ipa-file ko mismo yung mismong namatay bilang NPA na kasama nila. Kasi that is not anymore promoting violence, that is doing violence, di ba?
Okay, so I want to go back also dun po sa sinasabi nung iba na ang Duterte Youth daw po ay may ties sa political dynasty. Ano po ang comment niyo that? Because ang inyo pong asawa, if I'm not mistaken, nagtumakbo po sa provincial board as a provincial board member sa Laguna. Okay. A sister, sorry. And then yung wife po ninyo, yun nga po, party list representative. Your comment on that?
Actually, hausaw yan eh. Isa lang naman Cardema nakaupo at any given time eh. Paano naging dynasty yun? There's no Cardema dynasty. Isa lang lagi nakaupo. So, ang masabi ko sa inyo, ang Duterte Youth Party List, ang nominees niya Congresswoman Cardema, 26 years old from UP. Incoming Congressman Berlin Lingua, 26 years old from Philippine National Police Academy, PNPA, kaklase ng mga police officers. And our third nominee, incoming Congressman Ron Bawalan, 26 years old from Philippine Military Academy, PMA, kaklase ng mga tenyente ng Army, Air Force, Navy. If we are a dynasty, edi sana inupo ko na lang lahat ng kamag-anak ko doon. Pero we are giving our seats to youth leaders who are scholars of the people. Diba? Pinag-aral ng taong bayan sa UP, PMA at PNPA at ngayon maglilingkod para sa inyo.
Okay. So ito pong pagkandidato po ng for provincial board member, kayo po yun pala. Sorry, hindi ko nakita.
Ako yun.
Kayo
Oo.
yun. Nanalo po ba kayo? Hindi ko pa po nakita
Natalo
yung...
ko, natalo
Natalo
ko.
po kayo. Yung asawa po ninyo yun, siya yun sa for Calamba City Council.
Yes, hindi kami panalo.
Okay. At least
that will
we're
only be
clear
a
on that,
dynasty
di ba?
Kung panalo kami, kandidato lang naman kami. Ngayon lang ako nakarinig ng tinawag ng dynasty dahil tumakbo lang.
Okay, sige. Aside from that, ano pa po yung mga legislative agenda na abangan natin mula sa Duterte Youth?
Yes, for the next 3 years.
Yan, unang-una, hindi nyo natanong, hindi to agenda, pero hindi to legislative agenda, but we are the ones who tried to file the impeachment case against President Bongbong Marcos last week. Kaya lang hindi tinanggap ng House Secretary General yung impeachment complaint. We are filing this impeachment because we believe meron dapat managot dun sa pagkakapadala kay Pangulong Duterte sa foreigners, sa ICC. So, maliban dyan, yun nga, sinabi ko, we are filing itong death penalty bill patungkol sa mga rapists, kidnappers, heinous criminals, mga kurakot sa gobyerno. Alam nyo, dito sa Pilipinas, nakasanayan na natin na maraming kurakot eh. Parang norm na siya. Diba? Yung nagsasalita against corruption, siya pa yung outsider. So, hindi natin nare-realize, being a plunderer and being a corrupt official of the government is a crime. Diba? So, we are filing the death penalty for that. Dapat kasi merong nagsasalita lagi about corruption eh. Ang narinig ko lang nagsasalita, si Mayor Magalong dito sa Baguio City. So dapat natin tulungan man lang yung mga nagfa-file o nag-a-advocate against corruption and plunder.
Yung sa po impeachment against President Bongbong Marcos, no, nasabing itutuloy nyo, are you filing it this Congress o hihintayin nyo po yung next composition ng Congress, yung upcoming 20th Congress?
So we tried to file it last week dito sa 19th Congress, kaya lang ayaw tanggapin ng Office of the SecGen kasi daw wala daw si SecGen. Tapos ngayong weekend na to, ang daming nagsuggest sa amin na we just file it on SONA, on the opening of the 20th Congress para pasok doon sa next Congress.
Okay, at least we're clear on that. With that, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras sa Duterte Youth Chairman Ronald Cardema.
Thank you po, sir, ma'am. God bless po.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, or PPCRV, is conducting. What are they conducting? Conducting
The manual audit
of
of
election
results.
results. For the latest, let's bring in mobile journalist Amy Atienza live from Manila. Amy, what's the latest there?
Angela, good morning. Nandito nga tayo ngayon sa PPCRV sa PLDT Sampaloc Office sa Maynila. At ngayon nga, so far, nag-audit pa rin sila and around 98% na nga yung election returns na nakuha nila dito. And so far, mamayang 10:45 a.m. magkakaroon daw sila ng media briefing. Though hindi na rin magiging hourly yung magiging updates na ibibigay nila dito. Pero tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman daw ang pag-audit nila at pagbibilang nila. And yun nga, isa pa sa mga inaabangan din ay yung pagdating ng iba't ibang mga volunteers and students from different schools. Dahil ayon sa PPCRV, nakipag-partner sila with different schools para makatulong din sa auditing this midterm elections. Angela?
Amy, di ba this is a randomized selection, no? Pero na-announce ba ng COMELEC ano yung mga areas na nabigay, COMELEC tuloy, I'm sorry, PPCRV, kung ano yung mga areas na i-audit nila?
Well, wala pa ngayon yung mga list of places talaga. Kailangan pa natin i-confirm din kung ano yung mga dumating. Pero kanina, umaga, mga around 9, ayun nga, dumating na yun sa Palawan na sabi din nila. Medyo matagal bago nga nakarating dito sa Manila dahil nga kailangan pang i-gather din yung mga election returns from Palawan. Pero yun pa lang yung nakukuha natin so far. Dito, no, meron pa paniguradong ibang lugar pero wala pa tayong confirmation kung ano pa yung mga dadating for today. Pero yun nga, gaya na nasabi ko kanina, nasa 98% na yung progress dito ng PPCRV. And yun nga, update na lang din, ayon sa kanila, tuloy-tuloy naman daw 24 hours yung magiging takbo nila dito up until May 16. And after May 16, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. na lang yung magiging office hours nila dito.
Amy, when you say yung audit, no, the old way of auditing kasi before, I remember yung sa randomized, naalala ko, tinatara nila yan one by one physically. But this time around, since yung mga resibo mo may mga QR codes, paano nila ginagawa yan?
Actually, yung QR codes which made their work easier nga daw, is-scan na lang nila yan. So, nag-automate na yung mga votes na meron sila. And kailangan na lang nila i-counter-check and double-check kung tama nga ba nag-a-align yung mga boto na naipasa sa kanila pati na yung nandun sa QR code na in-scan nila, Diego.
Alright, thank you for that. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza. Now, Francis Samura has been formally proclaimed as mayor of San Juan City.
Let's talk more about that with the Mayor-elect Zamora himself joining us today on the line. Good morning, Mayor. Congratulations.
Yes, good morning and maraming salamat po sa pag-ibita sa inyong programa at sa pagbati po sa ating pagkapanalo.
Alright, Mayor, let's get right to it.
Nakatulog na ba kayo?
Nakatulog na ba, Mayor, after this long drawn-out campaign?
Ngayon ko nararamdaman yung pagod.
I bet.
Pero syempre, Mayor, you're going to have to hit the ground running. I understand, ito po yung last term mo, so in-expect ng tao. Ano po ang magiging first 100 days ni Mayor Zamora?
Yes po, ito ang ating last term at in fact, itong third term mo natin talagang all out na po ito. No? When I say all out, lahat po ng infrastructure projects na ating balak tapusin, ating pong tatapusin at una ho dyan ang ating 4PH program, ang ating pambansang pabahay para sa Pilipino program. Yan po ay magsisimula na. In fact, inabutan lang talaga ng election ban on infrastructure ang pagsisimula ng ating mga infrastructure projects. No? Itong 4PH building po natin will be 30 stories. It will have 1,029 units. Ito po ang magiging pinakamataas na 4PH building sa buong Pilipinas. Next po, ang ating makabagong San Juan Sports Center, which will have a 25-meter 5-lane swimming pool, of course, a sports stadium. Meron tayong basketball and volleyball courts sa taas. Magkakaroon ho ng facilities for various sports at may indoor jogging track. So, excited po kami dyan. Magkakaroon din po tayo ng ating local government center. Basically, this will be our City Hall Annex. So, magsisimula na rin po yan. Ang ating first San Juan Crematorium and Columbarium. Magsisimula na rin po yan. By June, no, yung ating refleeting ng ating barangay and government vehicles ay mag-deliver na. Mga bagong sasakyan po natin ito. At magsisimula na rin po ang ating citywide CCTV and command center para sa ating primary, secondary, and tertiary roads. So, dire-diretso na po ito, Angelo and Angela, no? At ito naman yung pinangako ko sa ating mga minamahal na San Juaneño, expect only the best from Francis Samura itong third term ko po kasi I really want to finish strong. Yung pagiging mayor ko po ay patapos na at kung ano yung sipag natin noong unang araw po, no, nung tayo naging mayor noong 2019, hanggang sa huling araw ko rin ay ganong klaseng sipag po makikita po ng ating mga mamamayan. Wala po kay Mayor Francis Samura.
Right. Yung expectation na kayo po ay manalo, nandoon na daw po talaga yun eh. Kasi this is your third time na rin, o third term. Pero yung lamang po, napakalaki ng lamang. From 57,998 votes, ang kalaban po ninyo ay 8,340 lamang. Your reaction to that po?
Alam niyo po, no, itong kasagsagan ng kampanya, ang tinanong ko lang naman sa ating mga mamamayan ay ganito. Kung sa tingin po nila yung ating makabagong San Juan ngayon, no, ang tawag kasi natin sa ating paradigm of governance is makabagong San Juan. No? Kung sa tingin po natin mga mamamayan na ang ating makabagong San Juan ngayon ay mas maganda, mas progresibo, mas maayos ang pamamalakad, mas tahimik, mas mapayapa. Kumpara sa dati, no, ang tanong ko sa ating mga mamamayan, babalik pa ba tayo sa dati o itutuloy-tuloy na po natin ito? So basically, I just gave them a comparison of what San Juan is now compared to before. And if you want to go back to the old ways, that is your choice. But if you want all of this to continue, then support our Team Makabagong San Juan Legacy. Kaya maliwanag po na ginusto ng lungsod ng San Juan ay pagpatuloy po ang ating Makabagong San Juan administration at ang ating iwan po isang makabagong San Juan legacy. Ito po ang legacy na gusto ko pong iwan, 9 years of good governance and progressive leadership. Nakita niyo naman po, ang San Juan po na ibalik natin sa mapa ng Pilipinas. Tayo po ay nangunguna sa napakaraming bagay. Tayo po ang number 1 sa vaccination ng pandemic. Tayo po ay only drug-cleared city sa Metro Manila. No? First and only, no? One and only po yan. Drug-cleared city sa Metro Manila. In 2023, tayo rin po ang unang lungsod sa Metro Manila kung saan 100% ng barangay sa drug-cleared na. Ang ating public school students, 1:1 po yan kada tablet sa ating mga paaralan. Meron silang 55-inch smart TVs. Meron po silang fiber optic internet connection sa kanilang mga silid-aralan pati sa kanilang tahanan. May libreng uniforme, may libreng customized rubber shoes, things that San Juan never experienced before. Nararanasan na po nila ngayon. Kaya ho, sa totoo lang, hindi naman ho mahirap na decision siguro po na para sa mga San Juaneño na ipagpatuloy ang ating makabagong San Juan. So, coming from a 50-year rule, dati ho kasi 50 years po kami na sa ilalim ng nakarang administrasyon, ito pong 6 na taon natin, nakita nila ang kaibahan. At base po sa kanilang pagboto, gusto ko nilang pagpatuloy po ito. Kaya ako po ilubos na nagpapasalamat sa tiwala at suporta.
Mayor,
alam niyo, yes,
last na po, unfortunately, we don't have much time. Pero tanong ko lang po, after po ng pagiging mayor, meron na po ba tayong plano sa next election? I know, it's too early to tell. Pero malay mo, masabi mo sa amin dito.
Baka daw Senator Samora eh.
Nako. Well, honestly, I will focus on my third term po, no? Kung ano man ho ang magiging plano natin in the future, of course, yung where San Juan goes, that's where Mayor Francis Samora goes. So, ano ibig sabihin? Kung meron man akong plano sa mga darating na panahon, San Juan will be our showcase. San Juan will be our show window. Kung baga kung anong nagawa natin sa San Juan, yun yung patunay kung anong kapasidad ng isang Mayor Francis Samora.
Kumbaga parang you're not closing your doors to higher position. Tama ba? Yes or no? Ayaw sa
magot ni Mayor.
Depende po talaga yan.
Sige po.
Focus muna tayo sa third term po natin.
Okay.
Again, congratulations, Mayor Francis Samora, and thank you very much for joining us on News and Views.
Yes, thank you so much, and please call anytime.
All
right, the partial and unofficial results of the 2025 Senate race showed a varied group of leading candidates, including those from Alianza, Duterte, and the traditional opposition. Here's our report.
So far, 6 senatorial candidates under Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas have made it to the Magic 12 based on partial and unofficial results of the count. They're Erwin Tulfo, Tito Soto, Ping Lacson, Pia Cayetano, and Lito Lapid, as well as Camille Villar, although she was also endorsed by Vice President Sara Duterte. This early, President Bongbong Marcos is thanking those who supported his ticket. For him, this is proof that, quote, once again, our democracy has renewed itself peacefully, orderly, and with dignity. The president went on, we may not have won every seat, but our work and mission continue. He also congratulated those who won from other political parties and urged everyone to move forward. For his part, Erwin Tulfo sees a united new Senate, vowing to reach out to every camp in the upper chamber. Former Senate President Tito Soto only has thanks for those who have elected him for a 5th time. Senator Bong Revilla is also grateful. Although he failed to make the cut, he too is calling for unity. On the side are the so-called Duterten, Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, and Rodante Marcoleta made it to the winning circle. With Amy Marcos making it to the 12th spot, she was once part of Alyansa and later on endorsed by VP Sara. Go and De La Rosa believe there's something behind their big win.
Malaking bagay rin po yun, no? Nung may sympathy votes naman talagang galit yung tao. Malaking tulong yung nangyari, no? Sa amin, sa team, siyempre, pero malaking kawalan rin po yung kanyang physical presence sa mga rallies.
Yan ang malaking dahilan bakit kami umangat. Yung pag-kidnap at pagdala kay Pangulong Duterte doon sa daig. So, naggalit yung taong bayan, kaya sila ngayon rumisbak yung taong bayan through their votes.
Meanwhile, comeback is real for Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan after they successfully landed not just the top 12 but the top 5. They were as surprised as many who saw them struggle in various pre-election surveys.
Sabi ko nga, kailangan namin ng milagro para manalo at mukhang yun ang nangyari.
And I took a look at the phone, 250 messages, 80 messages, 150 messages, lahat. Congratulations, congratulations. So at that point, naisip ko, baka nga nanalo tayo. But that result is really not what we all expected.
But for TV5 Chief Election Analyst Edson Guido, Aquino's victory is not at all surprising. He got the highest number of votes from top 3 vote-rich regions, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, and Metro Manila, otherwise known as the Lingayen-Lucena Corridor.
Kung how crucial the Lingayen-Lucena Corridor is. Isipin nyo, Lingayen-Lucena Corridor pa lang, halos 10 million votes na ang nakuha ni Bam Aquino.
In the case of Pangilinan, he has millennials and Gen Z voters to thank.
I think the Filipinos are also sick and tired already of divisiveness. No? Laging factions ang nangyayari. And so, yun nga, medyo hindi natin nakita yung third force, no? Na nandyan lang. And then they were able to capitalize on that. Not to mention the issues na sinakyan nila. Diba? Mga issues kasi na sinakyan nila is all about the youth, no? Education. Kay Senator Kiko is more about food security, agriculture, na talagang pangailangan natin ngayon. So I think it resonated well with the public.
In the party list race, Akbayan dominated with human rights lawyer Chel Jokno as first nominee.
We were also not sure how the results would come out because of the surveys that we had seen. But I think it's a combination of the work that Akbayan did on the ground as well as what we call the air war pagdating sa kampanya.
Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila de Lima is also assured of a seat. For Senate Minority Member Risa Hontiveros, this isn't just a simple comeback for the traditional opposition, but proof that, quote, lumalakas na ang totoong oposisyon sa Senado at Kongreso. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
To get more insights on the issues in the 2025 midterm elections, we have NAMFREL Secretary General Eric Alvia. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, good morning too. Morning.
Yes, of course, I'd like to ask you, initially, how would you assess the conduct of the entire 2025 midterm elections?
Okay, well, despite all of the inconveniences and isolated incidents of violence or even harassment, we were able to pull off. No, we have to congratulate ourselves that we were able to pull off these elections. No, in terms of turnout, no, it seems that we didn't expect that people really decided to exercise their right to vote. No? And we're looking at around a 83 to 85% turnout for these midterm elections. No? Usually, turnout is high during presidential elections, but these midterm elections defied that, no? And also showed that people are still concerned, no? About the quality of their leaders, especially at the local level.
Yeah, you said turnout. Yeah, it was a high for a midterm. No? But do you have any data at all that would suggest if the turnout was due in large to the... Well, there was a talk about the resurgence of the youth vote.
Yes, that's one of the reasons which added to an increase in turnout. At the same time, also, we're not discounting the fact that the turnout also may be due to the flow of resources, quote unquote, no? Flow of resources to the regular voters.
Right. O kasi nakikita daw natin regarding dun sa question ni Diego, sir, na sabi nila almost or at least 60% of the voters population came from the Gen Zs and the millennials. Kaya daw talagang mataas din yung voter turnout. Pero I was wondering, sir, kasi what could be the reasons? Kasi I'm reading po a report here na medyo mababa daw po yung voter turnout sa Misamis Oriental.
Okay. One is probably the quality of the contest also in Misamis Oriental. No? We have to check first if there are uncontested seats. No? Usually, pag mga lugar na walang kalaban, no? Hindi na lumalabas yung mga botante na para pumoto. There are other areas also that we saw, no? Where there is an increase in vote buying. Mababa rin yung turnout, no? Because you can also convince someone not to turn out to vote, no? Through vote buying.
O yun. Mataas daw kasi dito from 86.8% noong 2022, nag-drop siya ng 51% yung voter turnout.
Yes, that's a drastic drop. Yeah. So we see why we have to check first why people are disinterested to vote, no, in that area.
Right.
And attribute it to whatever factor.
But this time around, I'd like to ask you, what was the common complaint that you have received, or well, not complaint, or accusations of anomaly that you have received so far? Kahit hindi pa po verified, ano po yung general na nakikita nyo?
Okay, yeah. This is precisely why we wanted to avoid all of this loose talk going around. When we convinced COMELEC that they should not anymore have a router or a transparency server and send straight to the stakeholders the data generated coming from the automated counting machines. No? That was the agreement with COMELEC when we started. No? So the recipients would be political parties, citizens arms, the media
entities,
and other groups. No? But apparently, the data behavior did not show that. On election day, last Monday, we noticed that at around 7:33, data already was flowing in to the COMELEC website, no, showing the results. No? But other groups, no, that were supposed to receive it also were not receiving it.
Right.
And only about 2 hours later did we receive a data packet which contained a different content or payload. No, it did not contain election returns but only file formats, no, and headers. No, so this should have prevented the unnecessary loose talk and accusations that the transmission of data coming from COMELEC was manipulated.
One issue that arose that pinag-usapan talaga was the issue of duplications,
yes.
no? Supposedly,
so that's another issue, no?
Yeah, and
so
I think COMELEC stopped short po of blaming the systems of other entities because of that. Sabi nila, wala daw program.
It's a very simple process, no? Conversion process. The file format that we're getting from COMELEC, which is a comma-separated value format, automatically is changed to a human-readable format. No? So simple yon. In fact, we prepared for that, and we know when we say we, no, everyone, no, even the media recipients have prepared for that. That's a very simple process, no, and it will not take 1 or 2 hours, no, to convert that file, no. In fact, instantaneous yan, no. Pagpasok ng CSV file, if you have your program, when you receive it, automatically you can already display the human readable data. No?
But are you satisfied with COMELEC's explanation regarding doon sa duplicated votes?
Not yet. Not yet. We need a technical explanation, and we also need an explanation from COMELEC why the original agreement of sending to all directly from the ACMs was not observed. No? Dapat nga from the ACMs, from the machines, diretso ka agad sa atin. No? And you, no, even the media, no, experience a delay. No?
Yeah.
So what happened to that?
Parang
no?
sa media ata, umabot ng mga bandang 10:30 lumabas yung data.
That's
yung
true,
sa transmission.
No? So at that point, the COMELEC was already publishing around 80% or almost 70 to 80%, no, transmitted ERs. Yet we, the recipients, no, were not receiving even any data.
I would like to understand, sir, how this could have happened. Because initially, when we also encountered the machine, and what was explained to us is the moment nag-transmit po ang isang ACM, simultaneous nagsasubmit concurrently with COMELEC and all the other entities. So
That's
if COMELEC received it at 7:30, the school of thought is binato rin ng machine yan at the same time, parallel to COMELEC to the other servers. So what happened po to that to all these data packets? Nag-log jam or did it pass through COMELEC muna?
Apparently, based on the behavior of the data, it appears that there is still a router. There is still a server that throttles the data, no, to the other recipients. And I thought that the previous agreement was that they should have been taken out from the transmission flow. So apparently, because of that, there is still an existing server or router which controls the outflow of data.
And that's the only explanation that you can think of. Kasi kami po, hindi naman po kami techie eh. So nakikita niyo, yun lang yung
mas
maaaring
likely na nangyari.
Who runs
Trinottle nila, kinontrol nila yung data. They prioritize their server and their website. Tapos pinadala na lang nila sa huli or with a delayed time to the recipients, to the other recipients.
So, pero sa mga tao kung hindi po masyadong technical, syempre concerning yan, parang okay, may a lot of the data coming out pala passes through a router. But in hindsight po, who controls this router and is it possible? I'm not saying ginagawa po, but kung may mga maduduming balak dyan, is it possible that since hindi real-time pumapasok sa entities, if somebody decides to do something or manipulate the data, it can happen?
Well, the presence of a router can give rise to malicious actions, no? Kasi nga hindi natin makumpara real-time yung data. We're not saying that something happened. We're just saying that we lost the visibility and we also lost some confidence because of the lack of transparency.
Did you see this also doon sa history of Miru system? Because we all know this is the first time that we used Miru system. No? For the last 2 major elections, Smartmatic tayo. So that's what I'm gonna ask you din po. Mas okay ba na nag-Miru system tayo? And based on the, kumbaga parang investigation, research ng NAMFREL, may mga ganitong klaseng incidents din ba nung ganito ang ginamit na Miru system sa ibang bansa?
Okay. All of these concerns that are arising right now comes from a process outside of the machine itself, no? Because the machine perform as expected, except for some cases because yung maraming report nga na hindi binabasa yung balota because yung scanners marumi. And we understand that this, again, could have been avoided if the stress test or if the final testing and sealing was done better. No? Sana yung final testing and sealing would have been done earlier. At the same time also, sana yung stress test ginamit yung tropical conditions, no? With high heat, high humidity, very high air particulates, no? Especially dust, no? In countries like the Philippines. No? The concern right now arising from all of this delay, no, in data is within the COMELEC process of transmitting the data to the stakeholders. No? So yun, it's outside of the machine.
Alright, sige po. With that, maraming salamat po for your insights sa NAMFREL Secretary General Eric Alivia. Magandang
Okay, thank you
umaga
very
po.
much also.
Ayun, so we're done with the elections. We have our candidates waiting for the proclamation so far.
Sabi ng COMELEC, mga more or less, mga Sabado. Tapos yung kanilang canvas.
And based sa speed and sa results, may mga berya, but a lot of people are satisfied with what happened. Of course, may mga learning tayo dito. Sabi nga ni Chairman George, sa next election, they'll improve upon yung mga yung nakikita nilang pwede pang pagandahin, mabago. Right? And that wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Wala ka bang quote?
Meron akong quote. Hindi ko nakita. Ito Elections end but our duty to each other doesn't. No matter the outcome, democracy thrives when we stay engaged, informed, and united in purpose.
I super agree. Umpisa pa lang po itong eleksyon. It's time na maningil. Maniningil tayo dun sa mga pinangako ng mga kandidato natin. Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.